Introductory speech. The first speech of this class, I was asked to introduce myself. But the first thing you know about me is I don't know how to describe myself very well. But that isn't really a good way to start. My name is Rena Willow Grace. I was born in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where I currently reside. I have had a safe life due to my parents keeping me in a safe, well-structured, and educated bubble. Not educated on the negative or scary parts of the world. I just always exceed in my English courses. But despite my high ISAT scores, I always felt incompetent around my peers. So I guess that's where I can begin. I'm 17, I love to read. My nose isn't always in a book, but if it could be, I would always be inhaling the beautiful paper scent and getting into a fantastical world. I am also into vintage video games. I've been playing Mario games on my Super Nintendo Entertainment System since before I knew what a controller was. I also make art and bake. I'm not a top chef or the next great baker. Nobody's really lining up to buy my works. But it makes me happy to create things that people can admire and enjoy. Another thing to mention is that I have social anxiety and I'm having a very hard time reading the speech to you. This is about my 16th time trying to record over, and I feel like no matter what I'm going to hear is from my peers and teachers is that was really, really bad. But I'm trying my hardest. From there, I should mention a few aspects about my life, such as I have a 2-year-old polydactyl cat, meaning I have a cat that has an extra toe on each paw. My cat has thumbs. My cat has thumbs. I have a boyfriend who is 19, who's going to North Idaho College currently. He's kind of lazy because he has 2 very cushy jobs, but more power to him. I get paid $10 an hour to work whenever I please from my parents, and don't say that working for a cleaning company is lame, because it's not. Speaking of my parents, they are very overprotective and never really let me do anything unsupervised. They're afraid I'm gonna die or do hardcore drugs or get pregnant or join a gang, something along those lines, I'm assuming. Some of my very remarkable experience that really shaped me as a person would have to start with my father letting me go on Boy Scout trips when I was 5 to 10 years old. It wasn't really that big of a deal because my father was a scout leader and it was really safe. Being the only girl around is not only confusing, terrifying, but it can be a lot of fun too. I feel like that really brought me to accept my next remarkable thing, which is my experience at Northwest Youth Corps. Youth Corps is a conservation corps where youth live in the wilderness, sleep in tents, make their own food with no showers, electronics, or beds. In the program, I learned that people come from different backgrounds that aren't necessarily as cozy as mine, or way cozier. People also feel trapped with social anxiety, just like me. The program gave me a tough edge of being able to live in the woods and do hard physical labor, but also an understanding point that everyone deserves a chance to be known. The program lasts 4 to 6 weeks, and I recently just sent in my application for my 4th year. Another thing that really shaped me was my trip to France. I loved France, and going there opened my mind to the possibilities that I can learn so many new things from other cultures and languages from around the world, and the Eiffel Tower made me cry. I feel drawn not to only go back, but to explore the other wonders of the world. My goals for this class are, despite my social anxiety and fear of people not liking the way I talk, is to become more confident in my speaking abilities. The way my peers can help me is to tell me what I did good and kind of ignore my stuttering or clearing my throat all the time. I'm sorry the speech was so shaky and nervous.